Okay. All right. The stream is up and going. I'm just going to throw the link into Discord. Okay. All right. The link has been shared, and so we're really in the final part of the series going to work on the river here and the post-processing settings as well. I've got a new GPU since the last time, and I've cranked everything up. I'm doing ray trace shadows. I'm using Lumen, but I have the quality set to 4 for global illumination and on reflections with Lumen, even though there's not much reflective stuff here. So I'm targeting 30 frames per second with my new GPU here, and that's with everything set to cinematic instead of epic on top of it. So if I go over to create, actually first we need a landscape to use. I'm going to use the water plugin introduced in 4.26, and to do that, I need a landscape. So I'm going to start it off right there at 130 on the Z axis. And now if I go to create water body river, it'll take it a moment, but there, a river should appear here. I'll start trying to get it into position. Oh, I need to turn on allow edit layers on the landscape. So I'm gonna click off, search layers, enable edit layers, and yes. And now if I find my river, I'm just gonna delete it and try adding a new one. Might take it a moment. I need to delete all the water related stuff that came in with it, I think. Okay, now. There we go. Now we have a river. It's a little low. So I'm going to set its transform to be 130. Also going to rotate it. Move. Some of these points. Now I'm going to raise these points up individually until I get the water level that I want here. Something like that. Maybe a little higher. I'll bring the water up into these rocks some. Like that. Yeah. Maybe this can go a bit lower. Yeah. I like that. So just gonna lower this down a bit, like that. And now we put our camera in position. The river is awfully blue. That's not very realistic, so I'm going to scroll down to the water material and I'm going to open that up. I'm going to put it right up here. And I'm going to scroll all the way down to here. And I'm going to maybe make it a little brown. That did not turn out how I thought it would. Okay, so something like that. There we go. That looks more realistic for a river like this, I think. There's more settings, I bet. Alright. I think this is good enough. And we can see our landscape pretty easily. So I'm going to go grab a Quixel bridge. And I'm just going to search. I doubt there's any sort of riverbed material here. Don't think trampled sand works good for being underwater. So let's just search sand. And surfaces. Here we go. Rippled sand. I like this one. So I'm going to download it. And while we wait for it to download, I want to grab the exponential height fog. And let's find, I want to make sure I've set this to volumetric. I have, okay. So I'm gonna up the fog density to something like that. Height fall off, maybe like that. I'm going to Control L to and play around with the positioning of the sun in the scene. It's shining through the trees like that. Now it's a bit dense for the fog. Maybe something more like that. And this is downloaded, so I'm going to add it to the project. Hopefully I can just see if I get lucky and dragging it straight onto the landscape works. I might have to mess around with the UVs some. Works well enough, I think. So we're getting some weird, okay, there, that was, yeah, we are getting some weird things going on with the shadows. That's quite strange. I'm gonna open this. And I'm going to, let's see, turn on the max roughness a bit and see how that affects things. Or not, okay. I'm just gonna go straight to the albedo tint. I'm going to something like that, and this is just way too smooth. I'll leave it like that. Now, let's see. Post-process value. So I'm first going to just change the bloom method to convolution. You can really see a difference there. It does deal a FPS hit, but I'm not targeting 60, it's staying right around 30. And that's my target here for this scene. And maybe... no, I'm gonna leave exposure how it is. I might add... people really overdo chromatic aberration. Like, yeah, I don't think they have, but like people said it's something like 0.5 and think it's good, but that's just way too much. Even 0.1 is a bit much, so let's go with 0.05. 0.02 maybe. Okay, maybe a bit more, 0.03. I'm gonna leave it off for now. And now I think maybe I will actually use actual real world camera settings here. So I'm gonna grab my directional light and I'm gonna set this to like 10,000. Yeah. Now if I go to my post-process volume, I can change my shutter speed. I'll leave it at 60. So I'll raise that up 150. Or I'm not too familiar. I'm gonna just try Googling good exterior photography daytime camera settings along with sunlight lumens and see if it'll tell me. 127,000 lumens. Okay, well, let's go do that. Not sure. Ooh, that's bright. Not sure if that's really accurate. That's like per how much the sun puts out, not how much reaches the earth. I think it's... I guess I'll leave it like that. Because I've never tried doing an environment like this using actual... like the actual camera settings, not the auto exposure stuff, so I thought it might be fun to try. Let's say 11 ISO 100. Ooh. Shutter speed determined by camera. And that one's not have much of a visible effect. Neither is this one. Okay. So, moving on, we have lens flares, which I will turn on. gonna turn down the intensity a bit. I think I'll leave them off. Let's turn on. What green jitter? Maybe something like 0.01. No, 5 perhaps. Yeah. Depth of field. That's important. So let's go with. I'll leave it like that. Now color grading. Here's where things get super interesting. Change the temperature. Like, I'm gonna tint. But I'm not gonna play with those. I'm gonna go straight to. I'm gonna start with global and saturation. It's too saturated. Maybe 1.3. I might come back because I don't like all the yellow I'm getting on the water here. But I'm getting it on 1 too, so my problem is elsewhere with the water material. I have to make adjustments. Contrast. I'll add a bit. Gamma. Go a little green. Not much. No. I'm not sure why I'm trying to go green and gamma. Gamma is not where I want to be changing colors, so let me leave that at 1. I'm gonna skip past this and go to film real fast. Slope all the way up, I think. Or not. I don't think we need this with lumen. Okay, so back up to color grading. So I want to go into the shadows, and I'm gonna change I set the offset to be a bit more green. Or maybe I'm trying to see there's a I don't remember like an easy hotkey to reset these. I'll just manually go in. I'm gonna go back to global. I'm just gonna add a bit of green in, not too much, maybe a bit of yellowish green like that. Now I will go back to the water material. Scroll down to here. I'm gonna just sort of get rid of some of the saturation on that. Maybe try that. Okay, so I'm going back over to my camera settings, my exposure. Something is not right there. Something more like that. It's better, I think. There's a lot of sunlight here, so there's not as much sunlight here. It's pretty good from this direction too. And those, I really like the way the rocks look right here. I don't like the way this rock is floating. So if I go back to here, back to the spot, looking up at the sun, 100 is too dark. 200 is better, but we need more contrast. I'm gonna pull the green back out that I added in with the offset. And contrast. Oh, didn't have full contrast, that's why. Maybe if we turn contrast down and saturation up. What if we just get some saturation in there? Nothing. That. I'll leave contrast at 1. I'll leave saturation at 1.5. I'm going back to my exponential height fog. I'm going to be Scattering distribution, maybe. No. Maybe I'll add more fog though. I was thinking I'm gonna add less fog, but maybe I'll add more. I'm not sure. I could just set the fog density back to default. I think I'll do that. So now if I go back over into my post-process volume, we have some really dark shadows here. And so I think I can fix that with some of these settings. What does it look like when you're down and underneath the trees here? Dark. So if I just turn off all of this, I think I'll just go back to the auto exposure stuff. And now depth of field is too shallow. And my sun is too bright, so that is going to change back to 10. And now if I go back into my post process volume, exposure, let's change the meeting mode. Oh, wow. Trees look a bit strange. Yeah, these are like being emissive when they shouldn't be. So what's going on? I'm going to go to my, what was I, depth of field. Still too shallow. I'm just gonna turn it off, I think. Now, shadows get dark, too dark in here. So I'm going to go to color correction and adjust the gamma in the shadows. Like that, I think. It was also playing a role. Okay, now I'm gonna go to our clouds. And let's see. Rendering. going to go to my directional light. I want to make sure that the clouds cast shadows. And now let's go back to the clouds. Let's make them a bit higher up so we can see them better. Oops. So where are all of those in-depth settings for clouds that I'm trying to remember? Let's go to the environment light mixer. Normal plus advanced. Let's find our volumetric clouds here, I think. No? Here we go. Here's what I'm looking for. No, not. These clouds just don't have the detail that I want. And I'm trying to remember how to add that in. Or even add density in. There. View sample count. That's what I was looking for. Now, I'm going to close out of that. Actually, I'm going to bring clouds down. I think all the way down. I think I'm going to go for something that's a bit more foggy. My exponential height fog. Fog density's going up. Like this. I think. Maybe not, maybe not. So like that. Where'd the sun go? And I think I will leave it like this. Turn the settings up a lot. I was targeting 30. I ended up on 20, which is fine. You know, my old GPU would be at or 0 at this point. I think we're done here. Yeah, we are. So I am going to end the stream here. It's the shortest one yet, but I don't really see a reason to continue it either. We've finished the environment. It looks really nice, I think. Thank you guys, you who are here, for sticking along with me throughout the series. If either you, not sure who's watching, are returning and watch the old ones, I think within the next few weeks I'm going to turn the videos into a time lapse. I think. But I'll need to fish an old hard drive out of my laptop so I have the storage space to hold hours and hours of video like that. But then I think I will turn this all into a little time lapse of environment creation, 10 minutes maybe, and I'll throw that up on the channel so you guys can see, and so more people can see, because I know watching through a series of 1 to 2 hour streams that's 6 streams long isn't everyone's cup of tea. So yeah, expect that to go up on the channel in the coming weeks, and I'm going to end the stream here.